in TB perspective of ocular TB. So Dr. Reena has given a good account of what is ocular TB, and I not go to that. So my objective is mainly restricted to what we have to do when a patient is referred to us. What are the do's and what you should not do. And the another objective is the treatment and prevention. If time permits, ADT induced ocular toxicity. And I had one more objective to finish it in time. So to highlight the importance of vision, of all the senses, sight must be the most delightful. So of course, the ocular tuberculosis is a very rare disease. And one of the problems is if you are not making the correct diagnosis and treatment, is likely to cause loss of vision. Very often specific diagnosis, as Dr. Reena has mentioned, is very difficult. Diagnosis is based on the suspicion. So this is just to highlight how often by ocular investigation we diagnose ocular tuberculosis. Most of the time we depends upon other factors. So it has already been discussed, the clinical description of what we call the ocular tuberculosis. The reasons for reference to us is either for diagnosis or for treatment. Any one of the clinical signs of presumptive ocular tuberculosis with the bacteriological confirmation, which is often rare, or histopathologic evidence, is no question, we have to start treatment. Molecular diagnosis is not considered as an important diagnostic tool as far as NTP is concerned, but I don't know whether it is correct or not. I am not going to the controversies of that. That is why I have shown it is red. But I think it has to be included. If there is no bacterial confirmation, so we have to do a lot of work for that. Look for the clinical evidence from the history onwards. Nowadays, we are giving a lot of biological treatments, and that might increase the prevalence of ocular tuberculosis. Look for the past history of tuberculosis, contact or exposure with tuberculosis or MDR TB. Physical examination is very important, forgotten art nowadays. Look for evidence of TB and also rule out other diseases which are likely to cause uveitis or visual problems. This is an SLE patient with vasculitis, which may not be seen unless you look for it. This is a lupus pernio, also will be exposed only when you look for that. So make a complete examination. This heel erythema nodosum. This may give a clue to the diagnosis. Look specifically for any lymph nodes and hepatosplenomegaly. We have to do a lot of investigations to rule out the collagen vascular diseases or infections. X-ray is very important. We cannot neglect that, especially as a pulmonologist. It's our duty. There may be evidence of active disease. Of course, in ocular TB, we rarely see that. There can be evidences for old TB. That also we rarely see. Sometimes we may see evidence of other diseases which can cause ocular problems, just like sarcoidosis. The CT scan is more sensitivity, may show evidence of diseases which are not seen in chest X-rays. For example, the twin bed appearance may be suggestive of tuberculosis. Or sometimes it may be showing evidence of other diseases like sarcoidosis. Here we can see the perilymphatic nodules suggestive of tuberculosis. Bronchoscopy is an investigation that has become a routine for all pulmonologists now. This is showing evidences of nodules which has turned out to be sarcoidosis. We have endobronchial ultrasound. Even the lymph nodes that are not seen in chest X-ray exposed by CT, we can do endobronchial ultrasound, take biopsies now, which we were not able to do previously. The PET-CT is now becoming more common. The studies are showing that, this study is showing that it's not that effective, but I don't think this may not be correct, because it will show the tissues from where we can take biopsies. So that may add to or help us to make diagnosis. Ultrasound abdomen is important to find out any lesions in the abdomen. If there is a lesion, we have got a EUS, the Israel ultrasounds, with that which we can take as biopsy. So with any of the evidences for the ocular tuberculosis with no bacterial confirmation, if there's a clinical evidence of extraocular TB, either microbiologically confirmed or molecular based confirmation with the history of exposure, it's a probable ocular TB, and you can start the treatment. Any one of the clinical features of ocular TB, with no bacterial confirmation, no clinical evidence of this is the one which is causing problems to us. So in that case, we can go for tuberculin test or the IGRA or quantiferon gold. But if the chances or risks are less, you have to take it, may not be a tuberculosis, but it is considered as tuberculosis very often, and treatment is started. If there is a history of contact or there is a risk factors with IGRA positivity or tuberculin positivity, it is a possible tuberculosis. We start treatment. If there is no evidence of this, then you have to discuss with the ophthalmologist. Dr. Reena has already pointed out this fact. It is their decision. You are just supporting it. But we will really try to evaluate this patient. Without evaluation, we may not be able to tell that. So that don't do treatment without proper evaluation, sending back without specific decision. Treatment based only on tuberculin IGRA, better avoid. Always discuss with the ophthalmologist, get their opinion also, then only we'll do that. Delaying treatment is, as far as possible, has to be avoided, because any delay in treatment will result in the loss of vision, which we cannot permit. This is a chart. I am not going to for this. The treatment is just like any other tuberculosis. Only thing is, corticosteroids are being added to that. There may be controversy in that, but generally ophthalmologists do add corticosteroids. That is what I understood. The treatment duration is 6 to 9 months. Needs frequent follow-up. That is very, very important to assess the response to treatment. There are so many methods for evaluation to know whether the patient is responding. Everything is judged by inflammation only, maybe either remission, failure, or relapse. So in case of failure, always rule out other diseases like sarcoidosis, connective tissue disorders, and other infections. Rule out paradoxical reactions, iris, which usually occurs within 2 months. Rule out drug resistance. I don't know, I have not seen any patient with drug resistant ocular tuberculosis. Generally, the treatment response is good. That is what the studies are telling. 85% of the patients will respond to the treatment. And of course, sometimes you may have to opt for surgeries. The prevention, I like to highlight the importance of prevention. Now we have got a lot of organ transplants with immunosuppression, biological treatment. So in that patients, we have to, it is our duty to look for latent tuberculosis, and if there is a latent tuberculosis, it has to be treated. And one word of ethambutol-induced ocular toxicity. Dr. Sajeev has already warned me not to talk about this, but after giving this topic to me, one of my patients developed ethambutol-induced toxicity, so I cannot stop talking it. This is one of the issues, and this I have seen 3 patients. In Amala, we have 5 patients now. So this is an important issue. And there are other reports from Medical College Calicut about 4 cases within 2 months, and also from Trivandrum, there is a report telling that there is an increased incidence. So what we have to do? So I think from here onwards we'll be more cautious. Previously we have not seen that much of a thimerosal-induced toxicity, so we are not bothered about that when you start antituberculous treatment. But we cannot do it now. We have to do an ophthalmic evaluation and have to do the monitoring also, because we are seeing more number of patients. So any patients with risk, we should be very, very cautious. So whether we should monitor, do frequent monitoring or reduce the dose, that is up to you. I'm not the person to recommend that. My job is to make you aware that there is a problem. That is, you have to decide about that. In short, what I'm telling is there is no treatment without evaluation as far as ocular tuberculosis is concerned. Use all possible effort to confirm the diagnosis. There are 3 types: confirmed, probable, and possible. 80% will recur. Don't delay the treatment. Assess the treatment response frequently. Patients on ATT now requires ophthalmic evaluation and monitoring. This is becoming a mandatory thing. With that, thank you very much. Thank you for listening.